Proverbs. Too far. Proverbs 11. Let's see what else I have underlined in my Bible from years past. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. So when we're prideful, when we're full of ourselves, when we're like, oh, I'm better than you, you know, it is really a disgraceful way to think. But with humility comes wisdom. Yeah, because if you humble yourself, if you bring yourself to someone and say, hey, I want to learn from you, or how can I help you, or whatever, you gain from that. But if you look at yourself as the better person, everyone's just gonna, like, I wouldn't say hate you, but you'd be like, I don't want to talk to that person. A man who lacks judgment derides his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his tongue. Derides. What does derides mean? Derides expresses contempt for, ridicules. So a man who lacks judgment expresses contempt for his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his tongue. So someone who is, another word for ridiculous, someone who is contemptuous or ridiculous towards his neighbor, which is everybody. Everybody is your neighbor. But a man of understanding holds his tongue. So if you see someone going through something or doing something, instead of pointing at them and being like, what the crap, what are they doing? Why are they doing it that way? You can be understanding and be like, okay, I have never been in this place that you're in right now, but I would like to, you know, if I can help you, or I'm here if you need me, or something like that. A gossip betrays confidence, but a trustworthy man keeps a secret. I think that one's pretty cut and dry. There are a lot of things in the Bible that you have to, like, kind of think through and be like, I wonder what I'm supposed to get out of that. But there are quite a bit of things as well that are like, oh, wow, it's right there. It just kind of smacks you in the face. A gossip betrays confidence. Someone who gossips is someone who talks behind other people's backs. Obviously, that's not in confidence. That's a betrayal. But a trustworthy man keeps a secret. So if you're one of those people who can be trusted, who can be like, okay, you can talk to me and I'm not going to say anything to anyone else, people can trust you, which is great. For lack of guidance, this is political. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but many advisors make victory sure. He who puts up security for another will surely suffer, but whoever refuses to strike hands in pledge is safe. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but many advisors make victory sure. So when someone is in charge and they think they've got it under their belt, they're like, okay, I know how to do this. I don't need any help. I'm going to just go and do it. Chances are there's going to be something bad that comes from that. Many advisors make victory sure. When you're like, oh, I have this idea, but I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think. That is so much better and so much more sure of a victory happening. That's what you want, obviously. A kind-hearted woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. A kind-hearted woman gains respect. That's right there. Ruthless men gain only wealth. So a ruthless man, think of someone who is in charge of a company, someone who is a go-getter, like above and beyond. He's gonna get to the top, but what does he have for that? All he has is money. And money is not the only thing. The Lord detests men of perverse heart, but he delights in those whose ways are blameless. Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. So If you are practicing in your life things that are sinful, things that you know aren't right, that's not going to go unpunished. God knows everything you're doing. And for some reason in my mind just now, I had what goes around comes around. That's not how God works. But you will reap what you sow. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion. So the point of that is, why on earth would you put something lovely and priceless on something that is ugly and rude? Someone who flaps her mouth and never doesn't have any kind of filter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A generous man will prosper, and he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. A generous man, generosity does not just have to deal with money. Generosity has to deal with anything at all. It doesn't just have to be something you own. It has to do with the kind of person you are. You can be generous with your time. You can be generous with just being able to walk next door and see how someone is. You can be generous by sending a text and saying, hey, do you need anything? Being able to run to the store and pick something up for someone else. I mean, yes, you can be generous with money, but that's not what this is talking about. And when you are generous like that, you are also going to be refreshed yourself. That's going to speak to your soul. That's going to speak to your heart, and it's going to be helpful in feeding into your life. He who seeks good finds goodwill, but evil comes to those who search for it. So what are you maybe even subconsciously searching for in your life? What are you looking for? Are you going in a direction that would be substantially bad or substantially good? Because whatever you're going to look for is what you're going to find. The way of a fool seems right to him, but a wise man listens to advice. Yeah. The fool shows his annoyance at once, but a prudent man overlooks an insult. The fool shows his annoyance. Oh, yeah, kind of like filters. Hang on. Prudent man. Context, person. Is it truth? Does it matter? No? All right, moving on. Overlook the insult because it doesn't matter. A truthful witness gives honest testimony, but a false witness tells lies, basically calling liars liars. And people who tell the truth will be honest. So what is in you is what you will show on the outside. Reckless words pierce like a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Careless words. Oh my goodness, what's that song? Like thunder in the night, with words we hurt each other, like fighters in the ring. Can't stop the heartache, careless words will bring. Careless words. Cut deeper than a knife. Careless words like thunder in the night. With words we hurt each other, like fighters in the ring. Can't stop the heartache, careless words will bring. Filter. Watch what you're saying. Watch who you're saying it to. I mean, it only takes a second for something to either come out of your mouth or for you to say, wait a second, should this come out of my mouth? Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in men who are truthful. Yeah. That's why it's actually a commandment. Thou shalt not bear false testimony against thy neighbor. That means don't lie. A lie is a sin. So obviously, if we are truth tellers, if we are honest, that's something that God is going to take joy in. He's going to be like, yes, my people are listening. My people want to be like me, because God is not a liar. He can't tell a lie. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in slave labor. So get off your butt and do your work, or eventually you're just going to be a lazy slob and you're going to have to do whatever it takes to make money. You're going to be a slave to whatever it takes to make money. An anxious heart weighs a man down, but a kind word cheers him up. A righteous man is cautious in friendship, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. Be careful who you surround yourself with. Because yes, you could be trying to work on your filter, work on what you say, how you respond, how you present yourself. But if you surround yourself with people who are not trying to work on themselves, people who don't have filters, people who just say what they want, if you put yourself in a position where you know you are surrounded by, or you are with other people who struggle with the same thing you struggle with, but they're not trying to work on it and you're putting yourself in a spot where you're not going to be productive in your life change. A sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. Sluggard craves and gets nothing. Yeah, people want to sit around and have people do everything for them and do nothing themselves, but they're not going to get anything in return for that. They're just going to sit there and be like, oh, I don't have to do anything. But the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. Diligent. Having or showing care and consciousness in one's work or duties. You want to learn stuff, you go find a way to learn that. You find a class, you find a person who knows how to do it. You go on YouTube and see, hey, has anyone made a video of how to make this so I can learn from them? He who ignores discipline comes to poverty and shame, but whoever heeds correction is honored. Actually, when we notice things about our kids or each other during the week, we actually have a family roundtable discussion every week, and we just talk about different topics. Sometimes we'll actually mention it at the roundtable, that, oh, this person did this week. I just want to give them a shout out. And I think that's cool to do. He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. Again, be careful who you surround yourself with. Be careful where you are standing, what you are doing. Just keep in mind where you have put yourself and who your companions are, who you talk to. He who spares the rod hates his child. He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is careful to discipline him. Now that's not actually talking about taking the rod and smacking your kid in love. No, that's meaning you gotta put the smack down if the kid is being disrespectful or rude. That's not okay. A simple man believes anything, but a prudent man gives thought to his steps. A wise man fears the Lord and shuns evil, but a fool is hot-headed and reckless. So don't be Be someone who thinks about what's going on, not someone who just lets things slide and they're like, oh, okay, whatever. Be someone who, when you hear something or when you see something, or when you have a thought that's just like, it doesn't seem right, be someone who questions those things and wants to learn from those things and find the right path through, around, under, whatever those things. Be thoughtful, not thoughtless. Bam. He who despises his neighbor sins, but blessed is he who is kind to the needy. So if you see someone in need, remember your neighbor is anybody. Everyone is your neighbor. If you see someone who is in need and you can do something about it, then you're in that spot for a reason. My mug from Romania. Bam. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Again, the person who actually does something with his hands, or someone who just sits there and says, oh, I could do that. Okay, get up and show me. Sorry. A patient man has great understanding. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. Ooh. Do not, what's the commandment? Thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not want what your neighbor has. I forget how it's worded. But yeah, coveting what other people have, being envious of other people's belongings or other people in their lives, or just something that someone else has that you don't, being envious of that is sinful. He who oppresses the poor man shows contempt for their maker, but he who is kind to the needy honors God. Even if you're in a grocery line, I know right now you can't really do this, but even if you're in a grocery line and someone looks like they're struggling, offer to help. Reach out a hand and help them out. If it looks like someone's only got a couple items on the belt, pay for them. What do you have to lose? A few dollars. The money's not yours anyways. The money comes from God. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. The United States of America were founded on the truth of God, and now there has been so much change in politics. It is a disgrace to any people. Makes me think of Monica Lewinsky. Makes me think of anybody who is in office is watched more than anybody on the street. And if anyone in office, anyone in power, anyone in charge does something wrong, we are so quick to nip them in the bud. We are so quick to judge them. But do you look in the mirror and judge yourself? Do you look in the mirror and point out your sin? No. Yeah. They'll do it to anybody else. But when it comes to you, I don't want to say it out loud. Right? A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Filter. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. God sees everything. God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Omnipotence, the quality of having unlimited power and potential. Okay. Omniscient, knowing everything. Simple as that. Omnipresent, he is everywhere all the time. God is not a physical being. He is spirit, and he is everywhere around us. He is in us as one of the Trinity. Father is the Spirit. He is in us at all times. Anybody who says they are a son or daughter of God, anybody who claims the fact that what Jesus did on the cross was truth and accepts the fact that he took their sins forever. They are a child of God, and they have that little voice inside that's the Holy Spirit talking to you. The house of righteousness contains great treasure. When you think of treasure, do you think of like, oh, X marks the spot? Do you think of pirates? Or do you think of, for instance, my home? This is a treasure. This is amazing. The fact that I can talk right now is amazing. The fact that I'm still sitting in this chair and not having to get up from my body being in pain is amazing. These are all treasures that I find in God. I have friends. I have ways to communicate with other believers. I have ways to communicate with unbelievers. These are treasures. I know I say a lot. It's one of my autistic little tics, Sims. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. You can tell on the outside when somebody's going through something, unless they're really good at masking, which is another autistic thing. But not everybody is autistic. But a lot of people mask. I would say almost everybody masks at least part of their life, because we don't want people to know what's happening on the inside. We want to hide it. We don't want to show them what we're going through. But you can tell on someone's face, you can tell in their eyes when they're actually cheerful or whether there's something inside of them crushing them. Better a meal of vegetables where there is love than a fattened calf with hatred. Okay, so back in their times, the fattened calf was the special, amazing thing. So when they would celebrate, they would have the fattened calf on the table. But if you're celebrating with people who are not who you should be around, better a meal of vegetables than to eat, drink, and be merry with people who you should not be eat, drinking, and be merry with. A wise son, that's a repetition. Okay, so it's being said more than once. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish man despises his mother. When something is repetitive, let's keep this in mind. Proverbs 15:20. The Lord detests the thoughts of the wicked, but those of the pure are pleasing to him. Yes. The mouth of the wicked gushes evil. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. Yeah. If you're sitting there doing crap, being terrible, he doesn't want to have it. If you're talking to God and you're wanting to be more like him, you're wanting to talk to him, you're wanting to be in that relationship with him, he's going to be listening. He who ignores discipline despises himself. Boom. Biblical mic drop. He who ignores discipline despises himself. Proverbs 15:32. To man belong the plans of the heart, but from the Lord comes the reply of the tongue. We plan stuff, but when we filter it through God and who he is and his truth and his love, the reply that you give other people shouldn't be the same as what's in your heart, because we all have sinful nature, and that should not come out and be what we show other people. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. All a man's ways seem innocent to him, but motives are weighed by the Lord. Again, that sinful nature, we think we're fine, but God knows what is in your heart, and he knows what motive is behind that, and he's going to take that motive and he's going to restore and renew. The Lord detests all the proud of heart, but be sure of this, they will not go unpunished. Okay, so I'm noticing over the next couple chapters here, there are some things that don't quite need me to break them down and explain them as much as I have been. So here goes. All right. How much better to get wisdom than gold, to choose understanding rather than silver. He who guards his way guards his life. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Better to be lowly in spirit and among the oppressed than to share plunder with the proud. So better for us to be humble and share our lives with people who are not, like, I wouldn't say stuck up, but people who put themselves on a pedestal and think more highly of themselves, than to share in the way they live, thinking they're above other people. A wise man's heart guards his mouth, and lips promote instruction. Pleasant words are like honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. I love honeycomb. There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death. The things that we think are okay, that really aren't okay, and we know better. A perverse man stirs up dissension, and gossip separates close friends. Yeah. He who winks with his eye in plotting perversity, he who pursues his lips is bent on evil. You'd be like, hey, you want to go do something bad? He's obviously bent on evil. Gray hair is a crown of splendor. Really? It is attained by a righteous life. Better a patient man than a warrior, a man who controls his temper than one who takes a city. Well, yeah. Better someone who gives a crap about people than someone who just comes in and wipes everything out because he freaking feels like it. Arrogant lips are unsuited to a fool. How much worse lying lips to a ruler. Ooh, yeah, someone who's in charge telling people things that aren't true. I'm not gonna go there. He who covers over an offense promotes love. Someone who's like, you know what? It's water under the bridge. Let's keep going. So drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So, difference of relationships here. The family that you are born into are the people who you should be able to have struggles with, be able to knock heads with, be able to say, hey, let's brawl it out. Let's talk about it. Let's scream at each other and figure out different points of view or whatever. But a friend loves at all times. He who loves a quarrel loves sin. Yeah, if you like constantly fighting with people, constantly bickering, constantly, it's sinful. And if that's something you enjoy, then you love sin. A man of perverse heart does not prosper. He whose tongue is deceitful falls into trouble. Well, yeah, if you're gonna lie to people, you're gonna get in trouble. Eventually, it will happen. To have a fool for a son brings grief. There is no joy for the father of a fool. Ooh, that one didn't mention the mother. A cheerful heart is good medicine. It is not good to punish an innocent man or to flog officials for their integrity. Okay, so when you're in a courtroom, there's a judge, and he has to abide by certain rules, and then there's this person who is innocent or not innocent until proven guilty. So it's not good to punish a man that is innocent, but it's also not okay to get on this man's case because he has rules to follow and he has integrity. A fool's lips bring him strife, and his mouth invites a beating. Smackdown. A fool's mouth is his undoing. His lips are a snare to his soul. Filter. Watch your lips. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down a man's inmost parts. Again, it is. This whole thing is about watching your mouth. The things that you let inside of you, the crap that you let inside, the goodness that you let inside. Unfortunately, because of our sin nature, because of what happened way back when the earth was first created with Adam and Eve, we are never going to not be sinners. But if we allow God and his love and his truth and his spirit to live in here and constantly fight to keep that at the forefront of what comes out of us, that's what we have to do. And we have to be proactive about it because of that sin nature, crap's going to come out unless we actively stop it. Before his downfall, a man's heart is proud, but humility comes before honor. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Ooh, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. What you say has the power to kill or destroy. And anybody who loves and listens and takes into account and thinks on and the things that come out of our mouths, you're going to consume whatever the fruit is of those words. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. He who finds a wife. So if a man finds a wife, he finds what is good, because a man and a wife is the correct union and receives favor from the Lord. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. A poor man pleads for mercy, but a rich man answers harshly. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. So, again, who are you around? Who are you surrounding yourself with? You may come to ruin if you are letting yourself have all these people around you and not being selective on what is being spoken into your life. Wealth brings many friends, but a poor man's friend deserts him. That's sad too. He who gets wisdom loves his own soul. Yeah. He who cherishes understanding prospers. Yes, again. A man's wisdom gives him patience. It is to his glory to overlook an offense. Yep. Now, we're not talking about like capital offenses that have to have to go through the judicial system. We're talking about things like, oh, okay, you messed up on this one little thing. It's not a big deal. I'm going to overlook it and it'll be fine. Houses and wealth are inherited from parents, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. I'm alive. Listen to advice and accept instruction. In the end, you will be wise. Keep your ears open, keep your mouth shut. you will gain wisdom. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. A man's desire is unfailing love. Better to be poor than a liar. Because if you lie your way to the top, eventually you're going to be poor. The fear of the Lord leads to life. Then one rests content, untouched by trouble. The fear of the Lord leads to life. The fear of the Lord was in the last one too. Yeah. Just respecting him, showing awe and revelation and inspiration of God. That's what the fear of the Lord is. Then one rests content, untouched by trouble. Because when you fear the Lord, when you come before the Lord, when you let him integrate those parts of your life, he's going to enable you with the shield and the sword and the belt of righteousness, and you're going to be okay. All right. That is all the way up through Proverbs 19. Next time, whenever it feels like I need to do the next one, Proverbs 20 is where we'll start. See you guys later.